talk. Hashtag real talk. What up? Welcome to my channel. My name is Observe Breathe. If you're new here, please feel free to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to keep updated. So welcome to another episode of Real Talk. This is a show where I share my street wisdom, the things that I've learned living on the road for a very long time and now being settled, and how I learned to implement that wisdom. In other words, it's about keeping it real. Keeping it real.
You're watching When Keeping It Real Goes Wrong.
It's like when keeping it real goes wrong. Yeah, that's been my life. I believe in kind confrontation and keeping things 100% transparent, autonomous, accountable, and equanimous. That is my motto in life. Welcome to Hashtag Real Talk episode 2, which is Fuckboys, Fakers, and Underrated Haters. So in this episode, we're going to talk a bit about categorizing people. Now, a lot of people don't believe in titles or labels or any of that, but there's a reason why psychology exists, and my motto in life is pretty simple. It's observe behavioral patterns and adjust actions accordingly. So if I really like you, I'll stick around and let you know what you're doing that I can't handle. And if I don't believe you have the maturity to self-reflect on how your behavior might be not serving other people or yourself, then I will just adjust my actions accordingly. So I've learned throughout the years that as much as it's all one, and we're all here on planet Earth together, that it's really good to kind of understand where I can put people into categories as to how much I choose to engage with those people, because in life I'm responsible for my choices and my levels of engagement, and those choices create a ripple, and that's the school of life. So fuckboys, fakers, and underrated haters, these are the 3 that I watch out for, and it took me a while to understand how to point these kind of people out and how to create my distance from them. Keeping it real, keeping it real. Okay, so basically, fuckboys. How do you identify a fuckboy? Oh man, there is so much talk about fuckboys on the internet, and you know what, for a long time I couldn't really understand other than the fact that the guy likes to fuck, right? And you know, we all like sex, right? Some of us are a bit more reserved than others, and there ain't no shame. They say don't hate the game, hate the player. But the thing is that, like, you know, players, they don't just play other people, they actually play themselves. Because when you've got yourself a good lady on your hands, like a woman that knows how to guide, how to lead herself, wants to create her own sustainable empire, she's willing to like help you work through your stuff, and, you know, be willing to compromise to a certain extent without sabotaging or sacrificing her own self-worth, then when you play her, you're playing yourself. Just giving a disclaimer. So, fuckboys. Oh, I've met quite a handful of fuckboys out there of all different types. The first kind of fuckboy that I'm going to identify is known as a flow boy. And a flow boy is a bit more subtle than a fuckboy. A flow boy seems to think that everything is just this lucid, dreamy flow, and all that really matters is their own time and agenda, and they will cancel plans on you at last minute and then extend them and just string you along, and then never be consistent and string you along and never follow through, and then they'll follow through and then they'll string you along, and everything's all about their flow, you see. And if you challenge them, they'll just start to like spiritually bypass you and say, actually, you're just not, like, you're very controlling and you're just not in flow. Like, if you just let go of that, like, control issues, and it's like, no, you see, I maintain myself, and I like to surround myself with people who are congruent. That means that what they say and what they do aligns. Consistent, that means that there's a certain kind of rhythm and follow through of understanding. and reliable, which once again means that I can actually depend on you if I need to. So for me, it's very important that I surround myself by these people. And when I meet men, you know, an example of this was that I set a boundary with a potential frubber. I'll talk about the word frubber. It's like a friend lover. So not quite a friends with benefits, not a situationship, just more like, you know, we're predominantly platonic, and every once in a while some freaky shit goes down. So anyways, I was hanging out with a forever, and I made some clear boundaries saying, hey, if you're gonna see this person, please don't come to my show. You are free to do whatever you want. Just like, I consider my energy to be important, and I watch my energy, I maintain my energy, and so if I ask you not to come to something, if you choose to do something else and you choose to come anyways, and you come and bring that energy to me, it's basically like you are going against my boundaries and pretending to honor my boundaries while doing so. So for me, that's a big no-no. The way I explained it is my body, my consciousness, which is held in this temple of my body. So my body is the party, and my consciousness is the host. And if I'm inviting you, and in order for you to be invited, you actually have to go through a questionnaire and qualify to actually even be invited to my party. Now, if you do this questionnaire and you answer all the questions so that you know you'll get in, but you lied, and you come into my party, I have every single right to kick you out of my party. That does not mean that I am being controlled. So anyways, flow boys, they will use a lot of gaslighting and manipulation to basically make you feel like you're the one that's not in flow enough, and that you should just have less boundaries and be more lenient. And you know, so yeah. As for like, you know, full-on fuckboys, a full-on fuckboy is basically emotionally abusive, you know, but they refuse to own the fact that they're emotionally abusive because they really have this idea that they're an extremely sovereign, autonomous being. When you're truly sovereign and autonomous, you actually have the utmost respect for other people's sovereignty and autonomy. So it really pisses me off when someone seems to do the work and appear to have a certain level of self-reflection, when in fact what they're orchestrating is what's known as plausible deniability. Alright, if you've never heard about plausible deniability, it's actually a tactic that politics use and big corporations to conceal, you know, maybe some suboptimal effects of some pharmaceuticals or, you know, things as such. So they use what's known as plausible deniability, which means that it's kind of like virtue signaling, but a bit different. It's like, say for instance, someone sends you money and they're hoping that that money will silence you. And then if somebody else asks them saying, hey bro, I heard you were abusive, they'll be like, oh, I sent her money. They'll use that as a way to escape any accountability. So it's like appearing to be accountable to actually evade accountability. Total mind fuck, right? And it's very hard to call a fuckboy out on their plausible deniability, but that's the number one thing that makes fuckboys difficult to trace if they're a fuckboy or not. But the main thing is that they will chase you and pursue you and make you feel like you're, you know, worthy and awesome and amazing, just like a typical narcissist will. Idealize you, and then they'll subtly devalue you, just like the narcissistic abuse cycle. They'll start to kind of like, you know, nip at your character, like, oh, you don't seem authentic in doing this, or oh, you don't make enough money for me, or oh, la 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 la. And they'll just nitpick at your character without being full-on abusive. And they'll do intermittent reinforcement, so they'll be very hot and very cold and very hot and very cold and just totally mess with your amygdala and get you hooked onto them. And meanwhile, they will basically create what's known as a situationship, where they won't treat you as the main person anymore. They'll make you be the spectator of them pursuing other women as being more important than you, but actually stringing you along while you chase after their little breadcrumbs as they breadcrumb the bare minimum of effort towards even maintaining the bond, right? And whenever you confront them, they might very well do a very good puppy dog, like, oh, you're right, I was being a bit of a dick and I'll try to do better. or they might just get defensive, one or the other. You know, it depends on the fuckboy, right? Master fuckboys, it's interesting because they'll even complain about feeling empty inside, you know, go having all this shallow sex, and they'll say, oh, I wish I could have some meaningful sex, hoping that like maybe you will give them some meaningful sex. And, you know, before you know it, you're just discarded like that. The moment you try to even bring up to them what they're doing, how it's not okay, even if they complain about the effects to their cause, you know, they're just going to basically cut you dry out, dispose of you like you're basically nothing, like you're basically a plastic bag that they used for groceries or a condom. Yeah. So watching out for fuckboys, it's very important to watch out for these things, mainly covert narcissistic tactics. Like I said, the intermittent reinforcement, hot cold, the love bombing of making you feel really loved at the beginning, the devaluation that's very subtle, like basically nipping at your character or nipping at your appearance or nipping at you and making it seem like it's a cute little joke, not valuing your time, canceling dates at last minute, you know, basically disrespecting you and making it so that if you stay in the bond, you're disrespecting yourself. And when it comes to master fuckboys, they will quite legitimately make it seem like they want you to honor your loyalty, and they understand if you don't want to partake in the bond anymore. And they'll basically play upon your savior complex. So the number one advice that I have to give out to the world if you're dealing with a fuckboy is to look inside and to see where you have any level of sentimental attachment. And just burn that sentimental attachment. Take your grief, take your sorrow, take your rage, and burn away that sentimental attachment. Even if you feel like your heart is going cold, just burn away that sentimental attachment and learn as to where you are able to get hooked through trauma bonding. Like, where is it that you are susceptible to allowing yourself to be taken advantage of, to feel stupid in these bonds? Because fuckboys, they do that. They make you feel stupid, you know, like, you know that you deserve better, you know that, you know, you can do better, but, you know, especially if you've been in a relation dynamic with a fuckboy for like a decade, let's say, and they began as a close friend, so you build a certain level of sentimental attachment, and then that's where they hook you. So the key is to always keep your sentimental attachment inside of yourself. You know, like, you have the right to attribute meaning into anything you want in this reality, but the key is to always observe that life has the meaning that we give to it. So taking that meaning and bringing it back into ourselves, you know, as to what these people bring out in us, you know, that's what matters, is to surround ourselves with people who bring out the best in us, and, you know, not to pour out until we become an empty cup, but to witness what bonds are reciprocal and reverent of us, you know. Reciprocity is definitely key to any dynamic, and no dick, no sex is worth compromising your self-worth for, right? If you got goals and dreams, just take all that rage, take all that sorrow, all that grief, and just transform it into becoming the best version of yourself. Like, that's the true glow up. We have all these conversations about glowing up, like it has something to do about your appearance, but the true glow up is literally taking the raging fires inside of you and like incinerating everything that doesn't serve you. All the places that you get easily hooked and sentimentally attached and manipulated, those are the places that we start to burn away, so that we become stronger and we see the signs. We go, no, I don't want any cowardice. I don't want any fake ass friends. I don't want any fake ass lovers. I don't want any half ass friends or half ass lovers in my life. Okay, I deserve the full ass. Okay, on to topic number 2. So we got fuckboys, now we got fakers. So when it comes to fakers aren't people that are really close to you. They're people that you kind of see about. You might know of them through the grapevine. They might know of you. You might have a friend in common. You might see them at gatherings, and they almost pretend like they're kind of friendly and polite, but you know underneath it all that they've been talking shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're not your close friends, they're not even your friends, they're not even really your kin. They're supposed to be your kin, but they're just fakers. Do you know what I mean? They're so consumed with socially appeasing situations, so making everyone happy so that they can feel good about their image, right? That they won't actually own the truth of what they really feel. Like, they won't actually carry the energy that they don't like you. So instead, you always have this feeling like they don't like you, but you'll never actually get the truth from them because they're just going to keep acting polite because it serves them to look good, right? So those are basically fakers. And then you have fans. So when you are doing any type of entertainment work out on the internet or wherever, you're going to have fans. And fans are not your friends, they're not people you know. They're people that want to know you personally but see you from a distance, and they shower you with admiration and obsession, or basically they project their fantasy of who they think you are, put you on a pedestal, and if you don't live up to how they see you, then a lot of the time, sometimes they'll tear you down. But for the most part, I have amazing fans, so I'm super grateful for them. But the thing about fans is that fans don't get the same access as allies or kin or my friends or my family gets. That's what I've had to learn over time, is that fans are not my friends, they're fans. They're people who are supposed to think of me like I'm some separate being that they look up to or that inspires something in them, and they support me, you know? So, like, I'm so grateful for all the people that have supported me in my music and in all of my artistic endeavors that I put out there for that reason. But when it comes to fans, if someone tries to know me personally and I don't really have the time to get to know everyone personally, I kind of redirect them to my newsletters or to my business pages and places where I'm a little bit less personal, because I've kind of learned that, you know, it's a weird world out there now, because in the past we think about celebrities or we think about people that put themselves out there. They've got bouncers, they've got people reading through their letters, you know. It's not like people can just reach them through Facebook or reach them through Instagram and DM them right away. So I've had to kind of learn how to sort through my mail and put things into folders just to maintain my own state of peace and harmony, right? So yeah, so then we got fuckboys, fakers, fans, and we got underrated haters. Some people are like, what? Underrated haters? No, underrated haters. Okay, so underrated haters are people that become very close to you. They become your friends. They become more than just your friends. They become like soul family to you. Very close, intimate, emotional experiences. People that you consider that you would like to have at your wedding, but secretly, they don't like you and they don't have the balls to own up to you. It's kind of like a faker, but it's like a close faker. It's like a Judas complex, do you know what I mean? Like, they get very close to you because they want to know more about you so that they can use that against you. So I've had to watch out for underrated haters because they really hurt, you know what I mean? When you invest in someone pretty deep with your emotional investment, and they basically, you find out that they're actually secretly hating on you and being kind of like a bully in the background, and when you try to confront them, they flip it on you like you're the one that triggers them. It's like, bruh, I'm not triggering you. You are triggered by me. And maybe you're triggered by me because I actually value rawness, and I value honesty, and I value transparency. And, you know, if you're hiding things, like if you're hiding things about yourself, you don't want other people to know, you don't want me to know, you're hiding like the fact that you have deleted me from a social media, for instance, and when I confront you about it, you pretend like you never did. Do you know what I mean? Like things like that, where it's just like, come on, like, why don't you just own the fact that you are not my friend? Because friends don't do that, do you know what I mean? Friends are there for one another. Friends support one another. Friends don't just, you know, go, oh, your situation is too much for me right now. I've been holding a lot of space for you. And it's like, no. We don't hold space. We're in space. And I'm pretty fascinated because oftentimes I find that processing goes both ways. Like, I will listen to someone and I will participate in their life, and then they'll listen to me, and so on and so forth. But when a person seems like they've only, in their perspective, they've only been the one that's holder of space, it's like, come on, humble yourself now. you don't hold space. You just get to choose your level of presence and participation. If you don't realize that you single-handedly are responsible for your level of presence and participation, and that you get to choose your levels of engagement, that's what it means to have a boundary. Check out my episode on boundaries so that you can learn a bit more. So if you don't realize that you literally are creating your reality by the choices you make and your levels of engagement, then like, I don't want to hear it, because chances are you're playing a victim while you're actually unconsciously perpetuating your pain that you're projecting. And then someone will be like, oh, you're projecting. Oh, you're deflecting. Oh, you're projecting. Oh, you're deflecting. Oh, you're... And it goes absolutely fuck all nowhere. So I've had to learn with underrated haters. First of all, be really careful with who I let in close. And if a person shows me jealousy in any which way or envy, I become super careful, because you know what? People become jealous and people are envious because they don't actually have the will to look at where they're lacking their own self-worth. And they don't have the responsibility to create what they want with their lives. Instead, they're just going to complain like, oh, I'm a slave to this job that I choose to work, and I just haven't had the balls to actually be an entrepreneur and create my own job, and I'm going to tell you that you have things easy because you're beautiful, or you have a family that supports you, or this or that. And it's like, actually, bros, you chose a different route. Own the route you've chosen. And instead of being a jelly, and how about inspiration is the vibration of creation? Because like jealousy and comparison, I know that we're trained through the social media age to like be jealous and compare and scroll and compare ourselves, but like jealousy brings us nowhere. Like when we're actually inspired by something, we go, wow, there's something in there that I want to learn and cultivate within myself, rather than like, oh, I'm just gonna hate this person because I secretly hate myself and I don't have the balls to actually learn to love myself. So I've had to kind of learn how to monitor underrated haters before they get too close, because they can do some severe damage. Like you know, a bunch of friends growing up that were underrated haters, do you know what I mean? And completely damaged my psyche. These are people I got really close to that I was like, oh, you're my special friend, I love you. And you know, I had a friend that ended up completely robbing me a few times and selling my stuff like on the market and being like, what the fuck, you know? And I've had other friends that were really consistent, really good, and then I show up knocking on their door and they are with some other girl laughing at me and excluding me and getting high off of excluding me and feeling all high and mighty. So I've kind of had to learn the hard way throughout life. It's not about just not taking things personally, because that's like a really easy saying to say. It's like, oh yeah, don't take things personally. I mean, we're like humans having a human experience, so it's like really hard not to take things personally. But what I've learned is monitor the levels of sentimental attachment. And instead of investing outwards, investing inwards, you know, cultivating more for myself, my skill set, and my ability to choose wisely. Discernment is very important. So yeah, that's basically, you know, a few categories that I have. I'll talk a little bit about more of my sexual categories, considering we've ruled out fuckboys, and that includes flow boys. I have the terminology that I created called forever. So a forever is a friend lover, predominantly a friend, every once in a while a lover. And then I have flovers, and flovers are like people that right off the bat, I'm like, oh, if I can, I'll get with you, you're amazing. And flovers are predominantly lovers and sometimes friends. So, you know, if they end up having a partner, we go back to being friends, but there's just that like understanding that like if we could, we would, you know. Okay, you know? So there are the typical kind of like friends with benefits or situationships, but I'm not really into those, you know what I mean? And then from there, there's different levels of partnership, whether those are open polydynamics of partnership where somebody becomes a primary partner, or whether those are a monogamous partnership, you know. and there's someone I'm dating, and that it's kind of like an audition towards being a partner, and then there is the lifetime partner, which is what I aspire to have as like my husband and the person that I wish to procreate with. So that's kind of like the navigation of understanding how I can categorize people in that way. And you know, it's crazy because I don't necessarily believe in labels, but I do. Like, it is important to understand how I'm going to engage, and my levels of investment within how I engage with someone. So even though I don't necessarily like seeing people as roles, like, oh, you're this, so you behave this way, or you're that, so you behave that way, because I believe that we're souls, not roles. There is something to, if you're going to behave like a fuckboy, you're going to go in my fuckboy category, and I am going to act accordingly to where I put you, which is right over here in this category. And if you're going to act like an underrated hater, then I'm going to put you in the underrated hater category. And yeah, you're not a role, you're a soul, but your behavior puts you in that category so that I know how to respond to you. Because I believe that life is all about love, and it starts from within. That's with and in. And if I can't keep it real with you, then like we don't stand a chance. Because for me, it's pretty important. I will witness someone doing things oh so many times, and then I'll be like, y'all, that ain't cool. And if they keep doing it, and I keep going, y'all, that ain't cool, I remove myself, you know? Like, I'm not here to spend all my time trying to get someone else to change. No. No. I've had to learn that I'm not here to chase or change, and the only time I've ever chased someone, I have most definitely regretted it. I lost a lot of my own dignity through that, which I've had to regain myself. And the only reason I did it was because I was in sheer, absolute physical suffering because of something that they put me through. So I kind of learned the lesson that some people that you love will fuck you over. And at any time, do you know what I mean? That can happen. So life isn't about not trusting people. It's about learning how to trust accordingly. So I can trust that if I know you to be a cheater, I can trust you to be a cheater. So I'm not going to invest in you enough for you to get what you want from me, which is my care and my love and my consideration, because he's a cheater. And once a cheater, usually a cheater. You know what I mean? If I know somebody's a liar, then I'm going to trust that they're a liar. I'm not going to just keep giving my trust out there like my trust is this unconditional thing. My love, for sure unconditional. I am love. Life is love. I'm going to make the most of this reality. But my trust is for sure not conditional. My trust is very conditional. And once it is broken, I am very strong. I'm pretty good at fixing things to the best that I can. But if somebody keeps smashing it, I'm like, okay, yeah, no, 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 no. So just watch out for the people that give you more excuses than effort. And watch out for those who actually love and care for you. And even if sometimes you feel irked by them and you go into being more avoidant, just realize who's actually there and who really cares, because those are the people that matter. And look at who cares for you unconditionally. They don't just care for you because they have an agenda and they want something from you. They care for you because they want you to know that you are loved. Those people, man, they deserve everything. So now I've learned, you know, going through some hardship has taught me some shit. Going through some hardship has taught me some real shit. And now I know what to watch out for. So yeah, that's been a little bit on Real Talk today about fuckboys, fakers, and underrated haters. I'm sending love to all my kin, my allies, my close fam, my family, my blood family, you know, and all the lovely people out there, subscribers. Thank you so much. And if you like the content that I'm putting out there, please feel free to hit it up. I do have an official website down below, and I'm also the creator of this eco sweater line called Happy Existence, because I believe that life is very simple. We are existing, and I might as well enjoy it. Even if at times it's complete agony and atrophy. So anyways, yeah, just here to keep it real with you guys, and getting a bit shy, because I do that. I actually start to be like, whoa, what am I even saying? Yeah, I've been working on a lot of things. If you've never heard my music, feel free to check out my other YouTube channel at Queen of the Green. And been working on music videos, filming things, doing the usual, editing, all the good stuff. But yeah, I'm about to start a new album. I've been recording it the past year and I'm almost done it. So soon enough, I hope to launch another clothing line with that, and you know, yeah, just keep working at it. If you guys like what I have to say and you enjoy the wisdom that comes through and you feel an authentic connection with me, you can also connect to my Wizio link down below. Wizio is a place where I'm able to offer you my coaching services in a very simple, organized manner. So if you feel free to connect with me, please hit me up down below at my Wizio. All right, I'm sending you guys so much love and I'm wishing you a happy existence. Keep it real.